Hi guys, welcome back. So in this session we will learn about what are the Salesforce developer interview questions and answers which were asked in TCS. So first question is difference between custom metadata and custom settings. So here the difference between custom settings and custom metadata. So custom settings enable you to create custom sets of data as well as create and associate custom data for an organization, profile or a specific user. So all custom settings data is exposed in the application cache, and custom metadata, it's records in custom metadata, it's considered as metadata rather than data. These are typically used to define application configurations that needed to migrate it from one environment to another or packed and installed. Okay, you can access custom settings data using instance method and can avoid SQL queries to database. And custom metadata, with custom metadata types, you can issue trigger unlimited SQL queries for each Apex transactions. There are two types of custom settings, that is list custom settings and hierarchical custom settings. When you create a custom settings, then you cannot create that change the type that it list to hierarchy or vice versa. Custom metadata does not support hierarchy. List provides a reusable set of static data that can be accessed across your organization to all users. So custom settings have the same permissions to edit the records and edit the configuration. Both can be done with the configure application permissions. And in custom metadata, you can edit the records with the configure application permission, but you can require author Apex to edit the configuration. So these are the difference between custom settings and custom metadata. So coming to next goal. Yeah, some more points. While migrating custom settings to another org, it only deploys the metadata. You need to upload data into the custom settings post deployment. While migrating custom metadata types to another org, the associated data you created against it is also deployed to the target organization. Custom settings can be used by formula fields, validation rules, flows, Apex, and the SOAP API Visual Force workflow. Custom settings. Custom metadata types have a way more options that custom settings like picklist field, long test areas in Spring 17 and page load and validation rules. And custom settings you can perform CUD operation like create, update and delete operation on custom settings in Apex. You cannot perform CUD operations, create, update and delete operation or custom metadata type in Apex. Custom settings are not visible in test classes without seeing all data annotations, and in custom metadata, types are visible in test classes without see all data annotations. So coming to next question, which is difference between roles and profile. So profile and roles, here are the difference between profiles and roles are, it is in profile it specifies what user will do in org, and in role it specifies what user can see depends upon role hierarchy. In profile there is no hierarchy, but in role works in hierarchy fashion. Profile is mandatory for user, but role is not mandatory for user. It can be it's not a required field. Okay, and while creating a user profile, it's a required field, and role is not required field. You can either change it later, or you can do it instantly. You can assign it instantly. Okay, it controls object and field level security in profile, and it controls record level security in role. So in handle system permissions, and role is does not handle system permissions. Okay, like add, remove, access functionality, control page load, create operations like create, read, edit and delete operations which can be managed by profile, and sharing rules can be written to share record with particular roles and subnetted which can be controlled by roles. So we cannot assign either multiple profiles or roles to a single user. We can assign one role, one profile to a single user. In Salesforce CRM group and professional edition, we can't create custom profile. Okay, keeping point. Difference between data loader and data import wizard. So here are the difference between data loader and the data import wizard. So import wizard, for simple import up to 5 50,000 records can be imported. It supports all custom objects and only a few standard objects like account, contact, lead, solution. It supports schedule export. Delete operation is not available. It doesn't require installation. While importing, duplicates can be ignored for the data import wizard. But in data loader, for complex import for any size more than 50,000 records, more than 50,000 records can be uploaded. It supports all standard as well as custom objects. It doesn't support schedule export. Delete operation is available, but in import vision delete option is not available. Okay, it requires installation because it's an external tool. Okay, while importing duplicates cannot be imported. So import wizard is a web-based tool to process bulk records. With import wizard we can process a maximum of 50,000 records, but in data loader we can import data more than 50,000. In import wizard, we can't see few objects. Example, if there is master detail relationship between two objects, then child objects we can't see. Import wizard does not accept duplicate records. Operations. What are the operations of data loader? Like we can do insert operations, we can do update operation, we can do upsert, we can do delete operation, we can do hard delete operations, we can do export, and we can also do export all operations. What are the batch size of a data loader? Default batch size is 200, and either you can set maximum of 2000 and minimum 1. Okay. So coming to next questions, what are the different types of flows? There are different types of first is screen flow, auto launch flow, no trigger, that is trigger flow, record trigger flow, schedule trigger flow, platform event trigger flow. Okay. So what is screen flow? It guides the users through a business process. It captures users input. Okay. Auto launched flow, it do not have any trigger and they are in the background. Auto launch flow, no trigger, launches when invoked by Apex, processes, REST API, and more. Trigger flow, auto launch flow by a trigger you specify and they run in the background. Record trigger flow, launches when a record is created, updated, and deleted. Schedule trigger flow, it launches at a specified time and frequency of each record in a batch. Platform event trigger flow, it launches when a platform message is received. What are the followings? What are the following? What is sharing settings? So we can allow particular users to view an object but then restrict the individual object records they are allowed to see. For example, in object bank account, some users can see only saving account record. In object bank account, some user can see only saving current and current account record but only able to edit saving account record. So you can manage record level access in these 4 ways so that he can able to edit the saving account record and restrict the current account and current account record. Okay. So first is OWD, after that role hierarchy, after that sharing role, and last one is malware sharing. These 4 ways you can manage the record level access. Users have access on record or not is determined by combining all object record field level security. So in this diagram, what's the rule of thumbs when working with object field access and most restrictive wins, while working with record access the most permission wins. So profile, this is permission set. After that, permission set, what are the public read and write, do not apply it. After that, role hierarchy, then sharing rule, the manual sharing rule, team sharing rule. After the territory management and public group folder, and these are the hierarchy of role. Okay, coming to next question. So organization wide default, lowest and baseline security access that all users have its minimum access, used to restrict the access most restrictive access that user have, default level of access with users to each other records. You can use org wide sharing settings to lock down data to the most restricted level and then use other record level security and sharing tools to selectively give access to other users. So what are the ways to handle the OWD? This is private, private read only, public read and write only. Okay, so private, if the OWD for an object is said to be private, then only the owner. So yeah, only the owner and users above that role in role hierarchy can view, edit, and report on those records. Okay, if your settings OW settings are set for a particular object is set to be private, then only the owner of that particular the users above that the role hierarchy can view, edit, and report on those records. If the OWD of the object is public read only, then OWD for an object all users can view and report on record, but they cannot edit them. They can only read them. Okay, but they cannot edit them. Only the record owner and the users above that role in the role hierarchy can edit the record. Public read and write. If the OWD of for a particular object is set to be read write, then all users can view, edit, and report on all records, but only owner of the record can delete the record. Public read, write, and transfer. This is only available for case and lead objects. That's it. It's not available for accounts, it's not available for contacts, it's only available for case and lead objects. If the OWD for an object is set to be public read, write, and transfer, then all users can view, edit, transfer, and report on all the record, but only owner of the record can delete the record. Public full access. This is only available for campaign object. It's a public full access. If the OWD for campaign is set to be public full access, then all users can view, edit, delete, and report on all records. No access, view only, or use. This is available only for price book object. Private on account object. If you share couple of records with group of users with read write permissions, so they can able to access only record account record, not related records. It's controlled by parent. What is controlled by parent? मतलब OWD can access level of child record object in master detail relationship. It's actually copies the access level of master parent, that is master. Role hierarchies give access for users higher in the hierarchy to all records owned by users. Below in the hierarchy, instead, each role in the hierarchy should represent a level of data access that the user or group of user needs. Sharing rules. To extend sharing rules to users, public group role or territory sharing rule give particular users greater access by making automatic exceptions to your org-wide sharing settings. Sharing rule can neither be stricter than your org-wide default settings. It simply allows greater access for particular users. You can base a sharing rule on record ownership or other criteria. After you select which record to share, you define which group or user to extend to do what level of access they have. Okay, so you can define up to 300 sharing rules for each object, including up to 50 criteria based sharing rules if available for that object. That is owner based sharing rules and criteria based sharing rules. Share the record owned by the particular user to that user. Share to role and role subordinate public group. Criteria based sharing rule based on conditions like student if student from north region share to X, student from east region share to Y, share to role and role subordinate and public group. Manual sharing. Manual sharing is to share a record to a particular user manual using share button. When it is used, it is not possible to define set of group user who needed access where it not meeting any criteria and ownership. Who can share record manually? That is record owner, user above in role hierarchy, user granted full access to record and administrator. Manual sharing button is still not available on Lightning. So what you need to do, if manual sharing button is not available on Lightning, go to detail page of the record, click on manual sharing button and assign that record to other user with read or write access. Manual sharing button enables only when OWD is private, read only to that object. Okay. What is Apex based sharing rules? Share to particular users, that is group, public group. What is group? A group is a set of users. There are two kinds of groups: group for managing user and access to data, that is public group, or chatter group. Chatter group for collaboration between group members, that is collaborative group. Group members can be within users within the company, other groups, user within a role or territory. There are two types of groups, that is public group and collaborative group. Public groups, they are created by admins and delegated by admins also. Everyone within the org can be a member of a public group. Collaborative group, these are groups that are created by an individual users. Group can be used in several ways, including but not limited to share records with other users, to set up default sharing rule via sharing rules. What is queues? Queues are a group of users, public group, territories, connections, or partner users that are set, set up under manage user. Queues are different from group setups for the purpose of sharing records in that they are used for managing leads, orders, cases, service contracts, and custom objects. Records can be placed into a queue where they remain until a queue member takes ownership of it. The members in a queue support one or more objects. Standard objects are limited to cases, leads, service contracts, and knowledge article versions. Only leads and cases have auto assignment rules for assigning records to a queue. Any custom object can be supported by a queue. Workflow rules that are initiated by a field update would need to be used to auto assign custom records to queues. Records remain in the queue until they are assigned to a user or taken by one of the queue members. Any queue member or user above them in the role hierarchy can take ownership of the queue record. What are login hours? Login hours is used to restrict users to avoid logging into Salesforce during non-login hours. We can specify the timing for each day during which the users are allowed to log in. Okay, these are called login hours. That it's depending on whether you are viewing, editing login hours. The hours can be different. On the login hours edit page, hour appear in your specified time zone. On the profile overview page, hours appear on the original defined time zones. What happened when the login hours end for an active session for a user? If users are logged in and when their login hours end, they can continue to view the current page, but they can't take any further action. What is session settings? Set the session security and session expiration timeout for your organization. So, what are the steps? Go to setup, administrator setup, security controls, and session settings. Fill in the details and fill all the details what are the needed and click save button. Here the session settings. Set the session settings security and session expire timeout for your organization like this. Uh, wait. Yeah, your session timeout, session settings, login page cache and autocomplete, enable identity confirmations. Timeout value is 2 hours. If you inactivity for logging in Salesforce, you cannot do any changes. You cannot your timeout is inactivity like this. It after 2 hours, it's automatically log out. So this is all about coming for the Salesforce developer question answer. We will meet in the part 2 sections. Thank you so much.